what plagiarism means, what does it mean, that and how to tackle that issue. If you go to the basic definition of you could say plagiarism, and just click on Encyclopedia Britannica. Over there, you will see that it is very clearly mentioned that plagiarism is the act of taking the writings of another person and passing them off as one's own. The fraudulence is closely related to forgery and privacy practices, generally in violation of copyright laws. So, what does it mean? It means simply stealing, it means robbery, it means taking someone else's ideas and words, to be more specific, and pretending them as if they were your own. In research, we are not allowed to do that. We cannot have someone else's wordings and we pretend that those words are our own. If we do that, then we are culprits. We would pretend that ourselves to be scholars, but in fact, we won't be scholars. As you know, that nowadays data is very easily available. You can have uh, anything that is available in the biggest library of the world, that is online library, and you could just go to various databases. You could simply just copy paste it and pretend that that work was your own. And there are other, you could say, cunning techniques that the researchers have developed to remove plagiarism, such as putting white dots, such as using other techniques. But all of such, you could say, fraudulent techniques would be violation of copyright laws. If only thoughts are duplicated, expressed in different words, then there is no breach of contract. So you can rephrase, you can paraphrase, you can take those words and you can rephrase them, you can change them, you can change the grammatical structure. As idea definitely won't be your own when you're talking about literary theory or research methodology section or the background of the study. Definitely you can't uh, uh, say, or you can't create as everything unique and novel, because literary theory has to be written by someone else, and you can't work unless and until you take an established theory. So taking your ideas from those backgrounds and uh, then not changing them, using the exact words, just copy and pasting. As you know, copy pasting is very easy, and nowadays with the online journals and a lot of quality data and quality stuff is available, and that you can just access it within a few seconds and just copy paste it. So but when you duplicate it, then there won't be any breach of copyright laws. So, what are those copyright laws? Let's look at them a bit briefly and see what are they. You could read this whole article from Encyclopedia Britannica. Then it says the exclusive legally secured right to reproduce, distribute, and perform a literary, musical, dramatic, or artistic work. So, any work that relates to literature, field of music, drama, and any piece of artistic creation. Over there, the rights are reserved The rights are reserved by the author, by the creator, by the innovator, by the painter, and now commonly subsumed under the broader category of legal regulation known as intellectual property right. Property law. Intellectual property law, copyright is designed primarily to protect an artist, a publisher, or another owner against specific unauthorized uses of his work, such as reproduction, publishing, performing it in public, filming it, broadcasting it, or adoption. A copyright supplies the holder with a limited monopoly over the created material that assures him of both control over its use and a portion of a pecuniary benefits derived from it. So it is more of, we could say, a possession right, more of ownership right of a writer, that a writer or the author or creator of that particular piece of work has the sole access. It is his or her property, and copyright developed out of the same system as royal patent grants, by which certain authors and printers were given the exclusive rights to publish books and other materials. The purpose of such grants was not to protect the authors or publishers' rights, but to raise the government's revenue and to give the government's control over the contents of the publication. The system was in effect in the late 15th century Venice, as well as in the 16th century England, where London Stationery Company achieved a monopoly on the printing of the books and was regulated by the Court of Star Chamber. So you could just go to the detail and how this copyright law was practiced. But for as far as our research is concerned, here you see that certain writers reserve the right of, you could say, copyright laws, and they have this particular access, and that can't be challenged by someone else. And there are some publishing houses, as you know, Oxford University Press, they don't allow their books to be reproduced in paperback version. As you know, that paperback version is very cheaply available. It costs merely less than, you could say, 100 rupees to a publisher to publish the similar book that costs more than 1000 in original, you could say, paper version. So but when you take that paper print, and that paper print costs, you could say, very lesser amount, and then it allows cheap practices to be practiced over there by those, you could say, locally made publishing houses. And in those publishing houses, the amount doesn't directly go to the writer. The amount of royalty, as you know, that when a writer writes, that there is a certain amount of, you could say, percentage of the income or revenue generated, that is reserved for the writer, and annually that is given to the writer. Some give them 15%, some give them 20%, and some give those writers as a royalty in form of 10% of the total revenue. So the writers keep getting the amount for the rest of, you could say, as long as the book remains in publication. So this particular right, copyright, is for writer. But here, as far as research is concerned, copyright law also applies over there when you do not, you could say, mention the name of the writer, when you do not acknowledge, when you take the similar words, and you do not go through those words and you could say copy paste them. As you know, what is plagiarism? Plagiarism in HECs, you could say formula every three words, every three consecutive words that appear to have similarity with other words that are published or written somewhere else would be considered as you could say a version of plagiarized document. Students, to give you some idea, let me show you a report of you could say a plagiarism of a student's work, and everything that you see highlighted is plagiarism. In this document, such as you see that National University of Modern Languages, Islamabad was established as an institute in 1969 to help people communicate and understand each other in different Oriental and Occidental languages, to assimilate different cultures, and to act as springboard by emerging disciplines. So you could see that all the debate that is given by the student is you could say in a way a document that has you could say elements of plagiarism. Let me just go to the last, and because it is in a way full of you could say plagiarism from different sources. So this particular document, to be specifically, it has similarity index 27%, 26% matches with online sources, and 13% matches with students paper. All the detail of you could say various sources has also been under mentioned in this report.